This is another thing I was thinking about today, right? So some of you know what I do, right, as a job, yeah. So if you don't know, basically it's like customer facing. I have to go to people's houses, right? And I'm not allowed to talk about the company or anything like that, yeah. But what I've noticed, right, is this, right? And let me tell you what happened today. I'll tell you what happened today, but this is what I've noticed, right? Is that people who get a lot of, these types of deliveries, yeah, they have Ring doorbells in extreme disproportionate numbers. I'm talking literally, it's so frequent, it's mind-blowing. It's kind of insane, actually. Now, what is the point of a Ring doorbell at the end of the day? Well, I don't even really know. Like, I actually don't know. Like, can a Ring doorbell salesman sell me on the idea of Ring? I don't really get it. Like, if someone delivers something to you and you aren't in, they're gonna leave it on the doorstep. Why would you want to have a conversation with someone through your fucking doorbell about where you're going to leave the package? You've already left delivery instructions on the app that you're doing, right? Okay, in a flat, but I'm not talking about flats, right? I'm not talking about flats. I'm talking about normal houses, right? So another reason for a Ring doorbell might be that you're worried about theft, right? But here's the thing. If a masked thief comes to your house and nicks your package, how is the Ring doorbell going to help? It isn't, because the guy can't be identified via the Ring doorbell. So there is a ulterior reason for the Ring doorbell, right? But not only will they have a Ring doorbell, what is also very likely is they'll have an electric car, right? And obviously, I've been over electric cars many times. Electric cars will shut off, and this will happen, by the way. You can quote me on this. You can come back to the Kick stream that's streaming right now. You can come back to what I'm saying right now. That's why I wanted to record it on Kick. Yeah. In the future, electric cars will not, they won't be free to drive, right? As in, you won't be able to drive it wherever you like, and you have a certain amount of limit of usage on that electric car. It will be programmable by the company that made it, and you won't be able to drive certain places, and it will be linked to digital ID, right? So, Ring doorbells and electric cars. And then there's another thing. There's another thing that is in common with this, right? Which is smartwatches. Yeah? So today, right? Today, I get out of my vehicular device, right? And I'm looking at this house. And look, I'm just a random unemployed guy. For the record, I don't have any employment. I'm just a random unemployed guy. Okay, just for the record, if you know, you know. But just for the record, right? So, get out of the vehicular device. Take a look at the property, right? Ring doorbell, electric car, right? And I'm thinking to myself, very high likelihood that they've got a smartwatch, right? Open the, and then it's true. They do. They actually do, right? And then I go to another place. Same thing. Not a Ring doorbell, but it was a different type of one. Camera and all that bullshit, right? Electric car. And then I'm like, 90% chance, 90% probability this guy has a smartwatch. And lo and behold, he's got a smartwatch, right? And then I'm realizing, right, that people are extremely programmable, right? People are NPCs, right? And then in my head, right, I'm like devising this NPC score out of 100, right? So you've got 33%. Look, I know I'm invoking Masonic numbers here. I'm not actually one of them. This is just the way I did it. 33 score for a Ring doorbell, 33 for electric car, and 33 for a smartwatch. And then if you've got solar panels, that's the one on top to make it 100. Because solar panels do kind of have a good reason. There is a reason to get solar panels, like, to be fair. They are a bit NPC, right? But there is a genuine reason to get solar panels. So if you have all three of those things, right, then you are very high on the NPC score. You are you are peaking, right? You are top-notch NPC, right? And here's the thing. Why would the elites want you to have a Ring doorbell? Well, because they're trying to have a surveillance state. So they need to have cameras everywhere, which the NPC sheep are giving into very easily in the name of security and safety, just like everything else that they want you to do for security and safety, like digital ID. So everyone has a Ring doorbell, and that is part of the elite plan because they want to have surveillance of the state. Why do they want an electric car? Well, as I said earlier, because they can be programmable to go certain places and not go certain places and give you a certain amount of, distance on your car. So they can control where you go and they can control, just generally how much you can travel, right? So part of the surveillance state. Smartwatches. Why do they want you to have a smartwatch? It's similar to... So think about Palantir, right? What is Palantir? Palantir is predicting crime, right? Predicting before crime's going to happen, yeah? So I'm saying that smartwatches are like predicting health concerns, health problems, right? This person doesn't look to be very healthy. We can expect this person, who we know who they are because of digital ID and the surveillance state, and we have facial recognition and Palantir and AI, we know exactly who this person is, and likelihood is that they're going to come into the NHS for a medical problem in some time in this given period because we can see, based on their watch, right, how healthy they are. Bro, why don't I have my fucking hat on? I need my hat on, man. Alright. So, everyone is giving in to the elite's plan, which is to give them a surveillance state and give them complete and utter knowledge about who they are and their health conditions, and they're just, they are predicting, health problems, right? And they're predicting their movements and they're understanding what they're doing, right? And it's total control, right? You got to think about it like this, yeah? Why are they having digital ID? It's because they want to have total control of each person. They want to make it like China, right? They want to make it like China. So, if they're going to make it like China, then they need to have cameras everywhere, and they need to know as much as possible about each individual, and they need to restrict your movement. That is each one of those three there checked off just like that, yeah? Smartwatch, Ring doorbell, and electric car. And that is what you see very common. If one person has a Ring doorbell and an electric car, they've probably got a smartwatch. If they've got a smartwatch and a Ring doorbell, they've probably got an electric car, or they're probably going to get one. If they've got an electric car and they've got a smartwatch, they've probably got a Ring doorbell and etc., right? Because some people are programmable and some people are not as programmable. So that's what I wanted to say, really. That was it, really. I should have had my hat on the whole time, but, is what it is. It's fine, so. But that's what I was noticing, right? And this is a pattern that I've noticed. This is just an undeniable pattern. I cannot not notice it. And it makes it quite enjoyable, to be honest. Like, it makes it enjoyable to, actually work. Because I'm, like, doing this case study, like, whilst I'm, like, going about my day. Obviously, you can't check it in flats, right? Because flats aren't the same. It's different with flats, right? But yeah. So people are extremely programmable, and yeah, everyone's falling for the bullshit, right? And here's the thing. Here's what I worry about digital ID, right? Is if most people are going to get a smart watch, and not question it, right? Because I was thinking about getting a smart watch. Look, I'm not claiming to be some, like, elite tier individual, like, that has all-knowing power. But I'm just saying, right, I was thinking about getting a smart watch because of health reasons, right? Because I had a seizure, yeah? And I wanted to track my sleep. But then I was like, actually, I don't really want to give these people that information, right? Because I know about the fact that these people are lunatics and they want to know about as much of you as possible. So, I didn't get it, right? But a lot of people will just go and get it. And, another thing about this, right, actually, is that, as I said about the Ring doorbell, right? There is literally no reason to have a Ring doorbell, basically at all. Like, maybe there's a really small chance in your life that a Ring doorbell will benefit you. I don't know how, but in my experience, knocking on the door is a lot more reliable than pressing that fucking button. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I don't know why I hate it more out of fucking electric cars and Ring doorbells. Like, the smartwatch is, like, not that bad, but, like, the electric cars and Ring doorbells, I hate them. I hate both of them so much, right? And then electric cars, same thing, right? What is the benefit of an electric car? Like, actually, like, do you even save money with an electric car? Maybe you save a tiny amount of money. But I don't even know if that's even true at this point. I don't even, you know... And even if it, you know, and even if that is true, right, it comes at the downside of you can't really do long distances without having to pull over and sit there like a dribbler and fucking charge your car. Yeah? And then smart watches, right? For most people, smart watches are useless because you haven't got major health concerns that are impacting you right now immediately, right? So you don't even really need a smartwatch. Only really older people maybe would benefit from a smartwatch because, you know, maybe they want to track their sleep. I'm talking maybe 50 and over, maybe. Like, track the sleep and stuff like that, right? Maybe. So, point being is that these three things are useless, yet so many people have them. And that's because they're programmed to take them. So, again, go back to the original point about digital ID. We can all think that everyone's going to resist digital ID, but you don't know the average person in this country. You don't know the average NPC in this. You actually don't. Unless you've worked in retail, right? Unless you've worked customer facing, then you actually don't know the average person in this country. Like, you like to think they're a lot smarter than they actually are. So I don't think it will be resisted, basically, is what I'm getting at here. I think that everyone's going to go along with it and, you know, they're going to get what they want. So that's basically what I was saying. That was what that whole thing was about. But I wanted to tell you that, right? Because the whole point is that people are easily programmable. That's what people mean and what I mean when you say NPC. What you mean is someone who is easily programmable and easily... you know, led into consumerism and capitalism and easily sold on something, doesn't, you know, lacks critical thinking, right? And when you have a smartwatch, an electric car, and a Ring doorbell, and a solar panel system on your house, you are 100 out of 100 NPC points. Now, you are a playable character, you are actually a human, but you are basically a walking, talking robot. That's what I look at that.